everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So this particular video, as you have guessed by the title, is going to be the second part of T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. This is the third lecture. One was the introduction, and then the first one was the burial of the dead, and this will be the third lecture of The Wasteland, the game of chess. So without further ado, let us begin. Before we begin the part 2 of The Wasteland, let's talk about the word waste. Waste is an adjective used for things we do not use anymore or we do not need anymore. Whatever we still use, we do not call that thing a waste. There are a number of things with great value, we often do not use them anymore. Do we call them a waste? What about the stories we do not listen to anymore? What about the myths we do not understand? Are all these things just a mere waste? Keeping that in mind, let us begin the part 2 of The Wasteland, a game of chess. Before we jump into the text, let's understand a story. The story here that needs to be understood is the story of Philomela. This story is found in Ovid's Metamorphoses, Book 4. Philomela is kidnapped, raped, and imprisoned by her sister Procne's husband, King Tereus. To prevent Philomela from revealing what he has done, Tereus then cuts out her tongue. Imprisoned, isolated, and unable to speak, Philomela weaves a tapestry depicting her suffering at Tereus's hands and sends it to Procne. Procne, enraged, frees her sister. The sisters then take their revenge on Tereus, murdering his and Procne's son and feeding the body to the king. When the sisters reveal what they have done, Tereus charged them in fury. Before he can reach them, however, they are transformed into birds and escape. Let's look at the text. The chair she sat in, like a burnished throne, glowed on the marble where the glass held up by standards wrought with fruited vines, from which a golden Cupidon peeped out. Another hid his eyes behind his wings. Doubled the flames of 7 branches candelabra, reflecting light upon the table as the glitter of her jewels rose to meet in. From satin cases poured in rich profusion, in vials of ivory and colored glass, unstoppered lurked in her strange synthetic perfumes, unguent, powdered, or liquid, troubled, confused, and drowned the sense in odors, stirred by the air that freshened from the window. These ascended in fattening the prolonged candle flames, flung their smoke into the lacqueria, stirring the pattern on the coffered ceiling. So we see that there is a Shakespearean or Marlowean beginning because this entire portion is in blank verse. This particular verse is used to describe something which is grand. Eliot is trying to replicate the grandeur offered by the blank verse. This is about a woman who is sitting on a chair. Chair is like a burnished throne. So the woman who is sitting on the chair is like a queen. Then he goes on to describe, and we understand that this is a luxurious drawing room or dining room of a rich person's house. In the description, there is marble on the floor. Then he mentions glass, fruited wine, a couple of Cupid figures. Elaborate descriptions of elaborately decorated luxurious room. So this whole description is very much similar to Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, where Anubarbus describes Cleopatra's royal barge as it appeared when she first pursued Mark Antony. So here we see the woman who is sitting on the chair. Her odd fake perfumes were skulking around in uncorked vials made of ivory and colorful glass. The perfumes were grease, powder, or liquid. All of them were troubling and confusing to senses. Here we have a glimpse about Belinda's dressing table in Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock. We have words like synthetic. This room is fragrant but with an overpowering synthetic perfume. So the words troubled, confused, and drowned the senses is not a very flattering thing. It means that someone who is in this room is not feeling very natural about the perfume or maybe the person. This entire description can be a reference to Aeneid. Here there is this feast hall in which Aeneas recounts the story of the fall of Troy to his Carthaginian hosts. The hall is described in rich details. Eliot follows the entire cult of describing the hall. Somehow this grandiose of Aeneid is satirized by this description of the modern day drawing room. It is just a rich man's drawing room. Here, the senses being confused and drowned and troubled, this somehow gives the connection to Autumn of Keats, where the bees feeling drowsied. That was about autumn, but this is about spring. This shows how the expression changed with time. Keats was using it in natural context. Eliot is using similar expression to talk about an artificial synthetic environment. These perfumes, which have oily substance, they make the candle burn even brighter. You see there is a word lacqueria. The lacqueria is paneled ceiling. So the verse is grand and the way he is presenting the scene is majestic, no doubt, although it is sounding a little artificial. So when all these herbs are burned, there is this smoke coming out. Eliot relates this image to that of a dolphin. We don't know whether there is actually a carved dolphin in the room or the room feels like sad carved dolphins swimming. Let's read on. Above the antique mantel was displayed, as though a window gave upon the sylvan scene, the change of Philomel by the barbarous king, so rudely forced, yet there the nightingale filled all the desert with inviolable voice. And still she cried, still the word pursues Jug Jug to dirty ears. So let's talk about the word sylvan scene. So this is taken from Paradise Lost, where Satan comes in view of Eden. There was this fireplace, and just above the fireplace there was this tapestry. There was this painting, the embroidery we are not given the exact details of. It is said that there is this frame through which we can see this sylvan scene, very fertile wasteland scene. This painting is about the change of Philomel. So the voice was inviolable, which means it could not be destroyed. Becoming the nightingale, Philomel tried to tell the whole world of her story. But when the world becomes deaf, it does not understand the meaning of the song of the nightingale. Then the song becomes just a dirty sound in their ears. But the question is, who has dirty ears? Insensitive people. We are the insensitive people. We belong to this world, so no matter how much Philomel cries, we will never understand her misery, her sadness, her tragedy. Because we have stopped reading of it, we have stopped reading the stories of our past. This is what Eliot is trying to tell us. When Eliot was writing, did he have this feeling that all these mythologies have lost their grandeur or relevance? Did he wonder what will happen to his poetry? Will his poetry also become jug jug to dirty ears? That depends on how much time we are willing to invest in the wasteland. Let's read on. The other withered stumps of time were told upon the walls. Staring forms leaned out, leaning, hushing the room enclosed. Footsteps shuffled on the stairs. Under the firelight, under the brush, her hair spread out in fiery points, glowed into words, then would be savagely still. My nerves are bad tonight. Yes, bad. Stay with me. Speak to me. Why do you never speak? Speak. What are you thinking of? What thinking? What? I never know what you are thinking. Think. I think we are in Rat's Alley, where the dead men lost their bones. What's it? What is that noise? The wind under the door. What is that noise now? What is the wind doing? Nothing again, nothing. Do you know nothing? Do you see nothing? Do you remember nothing? I remember. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Are you alive or not? Is there nothing in your head? But, oh, that Shakespearean rag, it's so elegant, so intelligent. What shall I do now? What shall I do? I shall rush out as I am and walk the street with my hair down. So, what shall we do tomorrow? What shall we ever do? The hot water at 10, and if it rains, a closed car at 4, and we shall play a game of chess, pressing lidless eyes and waiting for a knock upon the door. So we see that Eliot is Tiresias here. He gives us a glimpse of the past, and while doing so, he is also being very personal, though impersonality is like his keyword. Here is this phrase, stumps of time. Philomel's tongue is a stump of time. There were other mythologies painted on the walls. He does not mention them. As if those frames, the characters of the portraits are leaning out as if they are trying to communicate with the people there in the room. But are those people capable of understanding them? Capable of registering their attempt to communicate? That is a question to be asked. Then we see that somebody is coming. There is shuffling noise on the stair. So we are preparing for something grand about to be spoken by this woman. We are anticipating some grandeur. We are also apprehensive that this is Eliot. She has her hair spread out. Her hair is quite expressive. Then we have this conversation. This conversation is structured in iambic pentameter breaking down. Someone is desperately trying to communicate with another person. The other person is quite silent up to this point. So, sharply in contrast with the frenzied expression of this woman. This man is being very philosophical, very melancholic, and quite vague. In this woman, there is an urgency. She wants to communicate, and this man is absolutely shutting himself up, saying we are in Rat's Alley. What is Rat's Alley? After the trench warfare in the First World War, this expression is frequently used in connection with the trenches. Soldiers had to dig and hide themselves. Often they died there. The whole thing is like a memory of this trench warfare in the First World War. Suddenly, the woman hears something. The wind under the door. Both of them are talking. One statement is by the woman and one is by the man. This particular expression, the wind under the door, this is taken from the Devil's Law case. There it is said, is the wind in that door still? This particular drama is by John Webster. It acts as a context as per Eliot's notes. So the frenzied expression is by the woman, serious replies are by the man. She is still trying to understand him. What is interesting is the use of quotation marks. Normally, we would think that the man is saying something and the woman is replying. Whatever the woman is saying is within the inverted commas. Whenever this man is replying, there is no quotation mark. We just assume that this is a reply by the man, but these words are not even spoken out. This man is not talking to her, or maybe he is having some unspoken thoughts. If he had actually spoken out loud, she would have asked different questions. She does not reply to his comment ever. So we see that communication has completely broken down. He does not know how to communicate with her. She, like the paintings on the wall, is leaning on to him, telling him something, but everything is jug to dirty ears. When the expression of pearl eyes come, we are unsure of who is actually thinking this. Because clearly nobody is saying this. Is this Tiresias? Is the scene reminding him of something? Why does he use this expression? This expression, as I have mentioned in the previous lecture, is taken from The Tempest of Shakespeare, and this expression is used to describe Ferdinand's drowned father. The next line shows that definitely this man is not talking at all. This man is thinking. Maybe this man is Tiresias. Here we can think of the Hyacinth girl. Then we have this expression, oh, that Shakespearean rag. So the Shakespearean rag was a ragtime song popular around the time Eliot wrote The Wasteland. Let's talk about that. Rag or ragtime music, one forerunner of jazz and pop music from about 1899 to 1917 and evolved in the last decades of the 19th century. So the breakdown of the culture from the high peak of Renaissance to Shakespearean rag, the debasement of intellect, the wasting away of intelligence. So, this man is thinking of Shakespearean rag out of context suddenly. The woman continues to say, clearly, there is not doing much together for long. This reminds Waiting for Godot, which was written much later. I have already the lecture uploaded on Waiting for Godot Act 1. That is a 3-part lecture. If you want to study that, you can visit those lectures. So this snippet of conversation becomes a prequel to Vladimir and Estragon's plight. This conversation between this man and the woman. This conversation is a prequel. The replies come as thought, and this shows the predictability of life. Let's talk about the game of chess. This is the title of the entire part. Here the man thinks of the game of chess. So they will be playing a game of chess, therefore they would stay awake. But why would they wait for a knock upon the door? Let's come back to some detail. So at the request of Eliot's wife Vivian, 3 lines in this poem were removed from the official version of the poem. The lines go like, "And we shall play a game of chess. The ivory men make company between us, pressing lidless eyes and waiting for a knock upon the door." In one of the revelations of Eliot's notebooks, it referred to the chess pieces that Eliot felt had become the only thing he and his wife had in common. So the game of chess is also not free from doubts. Let's continue the reading. When Lil's husband got demobbed, I said, I didn't mince my word. I said to her myself, "Hurry up, please, it's time. Now Albert's coming back. Make yourself a bit smart." So we see suddenly the conversation shifts. There we see a woman speaking and we are not sure about how many people she is speaking to. She is talking to her friends. They are not sitting in any lavish drawing room. They are sitting in a bar. So it's a bar conversation. Let's talk about the word demob. Demob means demobilized from the army. Troops dismissed from war. This woman is talking about her friend Lil, or maybe Lily. Her husband got demobilized from the army. Suddenly the whole thing breaks down. She's saying something and suddenly there are all capital letters. This is something she is not telling. She is not saying this particular portion, "Hurry up, please, it's time." This is an interruption. It is late now. The bar is about to be closed. The bartender is telling them to hurry up so that he can close the bar. All through her narration about Lil, we will have this refrain punctuating her words, interrupting her words. So after that, we are back to Lil's story. Let's read on a bit, then I will explain what the story is about. Now Albert's coming back. You make yourself a bit smart. He will want to know what you done with that money he gave you. To get yourself some teeth. He did, I was there. You have them all out, Lil, and get a nice set. He said, I swear, I can't bear to look at you. And no more can't I said. And think of poor Albert. He's been in the army for 4 years. He wants a good time. If you don't give it him, there's others will, I said. Oh, is there? She said. Something, oh, that, I said. Then I'll know who to thank, she said, and give me a straight look. Hurry up, please, it's time. So we are back to Lil's story. Her husband Albert got released from army and has come back. So the friend, this particular friend who is now talking in the bar, she told Lil to be careful as her husband will need all the attention from her. As if natural teeth should be replaced by artificial ones just to impress a man. Maybe Lil's teeth are not beautifully set. So what kind of a friend she is who is talking to Lil like this? She's very sympathetic towards Albert. We are trying to guess something here, I guess. He was at the army for 4 years. He was deprived of physical intimacy. He wants to have as much physical intimacy as possible. So if this particular friend tells Lil, if you don't grant your husband pleasurable time, he will find pleasure elsewhere. Lil actually said if he finds her husband gets astray, exactly who is responsible he would know. So she is saying kind of directly that you are responsible because you have an eye on him. So there we see there is a hint of adultery. So there is the interruption again and the story continues. If you don't like it, you can get on with it, I said. Others can pick and choose if you can't. But if Albert makes off, it won't be for lack of telling. You ought to be ashamed, I said. To look so antique. And her only 31. I can't help it, she said, pulling a long face. It's them pills I took to bring it off, she said. She's had 5 already and nearly died of young George. The chemist said it would be all right, but I have never been the same. You are a proper fool, I said. Well, if Albert won't leave you alone, there it is, I said. What you get married for if you don't want children? Hurry up, please, it's time. Well, that Sunday Albert was home, they had hot gammon, and they asked me to dinner to get the beauty of it hot. Hurry up, please, it's time. Hurry up, please, it's time. Good night, Bill. Good night, Lo. Good night, May. Good night, Tata. Good night, good night. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night, good night. So this lady, she says that, she tells Lil that it is not my problem that you cannot attract your husband. So don't tell me off that I did not tell you if Albert leaves you. So Lil had to take some medication, we see, to bring it off. What is the it? It is a baby. Lil had an abortion. So you can't blame her. All her life she has been giving birth to children. She had to take abortive medication and that led to some change in her physical features. She looks old. So who is responsible for her lack of youth? That is a question to be asked. She is not Sybil. She is only 31. But this insensitivity of the society has turned her into a premature Sybil. Lil has transformed. During Ovid's imagination, transformation was magical. One became a bird or a plant. Here, one transforms into one's worst self because this is modern life. Now, this woman says a weird thing. She says, "Why get married if you don't want children?" This woman sounds very practical. Then we see the word "kamen," the meaning is bacon. So, when we get interested in this story about whether she got engaged with Albert or what would happen then, but the time is up. The bartender, the bartender's call is getting more and more urgent. Now we know who she was talking to. She was talking to Bill, Lou, and May. So just before the scene ends, we have one more statement. "Good night, sweet ladies." The speaker here definitely is not that woman. So who is the speaker? Is that the bartender? Or the manager of the bar? Or is it Tiresias? Was he listening to all these all the while? When this woman says goodbye, perhaps he responds. This expression is directly taken from Hamlet. These were the farewell words of Ophelia. Ophelia dies by water. Ophelia is also like the Hyacinth girl because all she talked about was flowers, different kinds of flowers. But the question is, where is the game of chess? Nowhere. A betrayal of anticipation. When we think of two scenes created, one luxurious drawing room and one ordinary bar, they are like two extremes of the society, like opposing set of chess pieces. There are different types of pieces on a chessboard: a pawn, king, queen. No matter what you are in your real life, you end up being pieces on the chessboard. Eliot was very interested in chess. He used to play transatlantic chess through letters with his father. A long distance game, a communication with his father. He used to play chess with his wife as well when they could not communicate anymore. So, could it be a hint that it is about communication? Because this part is all about how communication has been broken down, how it has become one sided. No one is able to understand what is happening inside the mind of people. In this part, we see mostly women speaking. In the game of chess, the most powerful piece is the queen, not the king. The king has to be castled in, protected, has limited range of movements. Which kings are mentioned? The rapist Tereus, a vague reference to Alonso, Ferdinand's father, in The Tempest, who was a usurper. The mentioned kings are not at all positive images. When we talk about king in Wasteland, we have to talk about the Fisher King, who is very important. So it's going to be a game of chess. We have to protect our king. Our king, or the idea of kingship, the idea of royalty, the idea of everything that has value in this world. Two plays by Thomas Middleton from which the title is actually drawn from. The Game at Chess, Women Beware Women. In Middleton, the game of chess was very much like sexual intrigue, the way in which a man tries to seduce a woman. Here, game of chess is mentioned in a couple who are pretty detached, and there is actually no connection between them. This is a poem which connects nothing with nothing. This is what Eliot actually says. So, this lack of connection is set against this desperate need to communicate. When all the communication fails, let's just have a game of chess. So, that is the end of this particular section. Keep on studying, and I will see you in my next lecture, which is the part 3 of the wasteland. Thank you all for watching this video so far, and for more videos like this, keep an eye on my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.